Guys, I'm Mike Emler, CrazySharp, and this is the Kizer Ppy, also known as the Kizer Ppy. Good little puppy. We're going to take a look at this, but not yet. So guys, like I said, this is the Kizer Ppy, also known as the puppy. This came to me from Jared over at Neves Knives. This is a really nice little knife. It had gotten in with some stuff that was in for review that got moved to the back and forgot I had it. So today is first day in pockets on this. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with most of everything on the knife. There's two little issues that I have with it. But let's take a good quick look at it. I've had it in pocket since about 5:30 this morning. It's 10:10 a.m. right now. So it's been in my pocket for about 5 hours. It's got a great blade shape, nice grind on it, and it has cut well. I just cleaned it up. I had cut up some Amazon packaging that came for some stuff that's going to be in a video you guys are going to see in the future. It did cut really well. It's really comfortable in the cut. It does have some minor problems, but let's take a look at what we got here. Let's just see what we can get from it. Kizer Knives, this is a 154 cm, beautiful red and black micarta. Liner lock, which I've really gotten to become a fan of liner locks these days because you don't lose any of your ergos when your lock bar kicks over. I can demonstrate that. As much as I love this knife, it's not a sharp spot, but you can definitely feel that kick over of the lock bar on my Norseman. You don't get that on a liner lock, and that's one of the positives of a liner lock. Let's go ahead. And before we go any further, let's get a couple things out and do some size comparison. So our first knife is going to be Demco 8020.5. And you can see 8020.5 is not a real big knife. It's a shrunk down version of 8020, which I love. I do not dislike this at all. This is the 3V Warncliffe version. I love the sharp lock. It is so much fun. So there you go. There's your first one. Your next knife is going to be the Spyderco Endura 4. This is a fairly large knife, so you can see you can get some size comparison. It's not real big. Most everybody should know the size of the Endura series by now, so it's not a real big knife. And our last knife's going to be, as always, the Chris Reeve Sebenza, because everybody pretty much at this point knows what a Sebenza looks like. So you can see it's in the mid-range. It's a good bit smaller handle, or not a good bit smaller. It's smaller in handle, smaller in blade, so you get an overall less overall length. But yeah, this is not a small knife. It's also not a big knife. It's and for me, this would be what I would consider a mid-range knife. So let's get this out of the way and talk about the puppy. So this is a thumb stud opener only. Action on it is really good. The one thing I have noticed that I really like about this is the balance of this. It's really nice and light, but it has a really good balance. You can see right there, just about the pivot. You're getting, you're one finger behind the pivot, one on the pivot, right about there. You're just about perfect, which in cutting, it feels really good. It's not tail heavy, which is something I don't like. It's not tip heavy, which is something I do like. It's pretty much middle of the road. Running on bearings, Kizer's action has improved so much over the last couple years. The action on this is drop shut. Truly, truly drop shut. You got double thumb studs with a reversible pocket clip. I keep bumping the tripod, guys. I'm sorry. It's tight. It's tight. Hang on a second. Let me readjust. Sorry about that. It's really tight quarters because we're rearranging some stuff in the house. So I've got less room than usual. I've got to move a bunch of stuff before Friday night's live feed. So at any rate, what I was saying is, well, I forget what I was saying, but their action has improved over the years. Just drop shut. Double thumb studs. So it goes along with the fact that you have a reversible pocket clip. It's nice to have that option. I'm not such a, to me, it doesn't matter. Some people are like, oh, they should just stop doing it and this and that. I think if you're going to do it, you should have a placeholder here to keep gunk from getting down in the holes. But for me, it's not going to matter. I'm only ever going to carry something like this right-handed. Like I said, all of the work on this is nice and smooth. There's no hot spots. All of this has been crowned and chamfered really well. Little bit of a shadow box on those scales, which I like because you can see that little shine and pop along the scales. Consistent hardware, which I like as well. So you basically need probably a T8 and T6 to put it together. I'd like to see companies just do T8 everywhere. That's great when they do that. Or T9 like Grimsmo do. Like I said, with the double thumb studs, you can carry left hand. If you've got littler hands than mine, you can reverse flick pretty easily. Now, it's just because of the size of my hands, it's a little bit difficult for me. Overall blade shape and appearance is attractive. Now, I do have to say, we're going to start getting into some negatives. Like I said, everything else has been really good. Oh, weight reduction in the liners. So that's what's getting you that nice balance. You've got weight reduction back here, and then it starts to fill up here. And it gives you that really nice balance that feels good in hand. Very comfortable in this grip to cut with. It cuts like a dream like this up on it to do stuff. I did notice that the pivot is ever slightly so loose. Before we get into the actual review and stuff like that, I'm going to tighten that pivot down. So I do have I have a couple, basically three things I don't like about this knife. So let's go ahead and let's get into the negative stuff. Negative Nancy mode has been enabled. So this knife does have a slight recurve right here at the heel. Now, I'm not sure if that's just this particular knife or if this entire line has that. I'm not a fan of that slight recurve back here. Now, I don't believe that that's something Jared did in sharpening, because that looks to me to be a factory edge. So that's going to be something that's going to take you a little bit of work. And the fact is, you're really, really close. There's not a lot of distance between here, and you're going to slam into your stones, especially if you freehand sharpen like I do. And a lot of people are like, why is that a big deal? When you have a piece of metal slamming into the edge of your stone, can you see all those little chips? Those little chips all over my stones. That's from stuff like that, because you get in here, and then if you get in and you're trying to get all the way up on it, you can hit up against your stone. It's not horrible. I've definitely had knives that were much worse. What's really bad is like when the Ricasso is sharp. So nice swept plunge, but I do believe that I don't like the fact that it has that little bit of a hiccup, a recurve. You can kind of see it. There's like a spot where it comes down and it looks like it got into a belt, something like that. Lanyard hole. Two things I don't like about the lanyard hole. One, I don't like lanyard holes. I like a second option, like a lanyard post, like on a Sabenza and some of the not Ferrum Forge, but the Chris Reeves and some of the artisan knives. There's like a little post that's in there that, there's a hole in it for your lanyard, or a backspacer with it going through. But if you do have a lanyard, as close as that is, see how big that lanyard hole is, and it's really close to your standoffs, there's a chance that if your lanyard's got some slop in it, you could cut your lanyard, and then if you've got expensive beads on your lanyard, you'd be out, whatever that cost. So I do prefer, for people that do have lanyards, I like it to be enclosed to protect your lanyard, and then for guys that, like me, I just prefer a way where it doesn't show up on the scale, where I don't have to look at it, even though it's still available. So there's that. And then the pocket clip. Kizer has a serious problem with their pocket clips. They really do. That is a very, very tall, very proud pocket clip. I guarantee with as many knives as has the same hole pattern, I could find I would imagine I could almost get that artisan clip if it's screwed from the bottom. If the screws were long enough, I could do it from the bottom. I almost think I could get the artisan titanium clip to fit on this. But at this point, there's so many knives that have that hole pattern. I could find a pocket clip that fits this, but I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to give up comfort when I buy something. I wish some of these companies would find better pocket clips. And sometimes it's not the pocket clip itself. Like this pocket clip would be way worse on other knives. This one's not horrible. I'm still not a fan of it. In this grip, if I'm doing side cutting, doesn't bother me at all. When I get down on it, it's just not... It's not great. And then the last thing, one of the last things I've got on it is the jimping is too far forward. The jimping, there needed to be some jimping back here, or bring it all the way back, because the fact is, like, this doesn't have a forward choil. So if you're getting up on it, if I get up on that jimping, which is really good jimping, by the way, that's really good jimping. It's just aggressive enough. It's not ultra sharp, but it lets you know it's there and you don't slide off of it. But if they had just brought it back a little bit further and maybe mirrored some of it, I know it would have ruined the aesthetic of the scales or of the liners, but bringing it back a little bit where my thumb is naturally going to be. If this had like a forward finger choil, that would be perfect. But to get that jimping where I want it, I'm clear up and in danger of cutting myself. So just a couple of things. I do like this knife. But like I said, I like to point out all this. Oh, I meant to say this in the good. The lock bar access is just about perfect. I love when a company gives you plenty of access to the lock bar. I've had several knives that have come in recently, and they're so narrow, which this is narrow. You can see that's narrow, but they've sculpted that out enough that it's just the perfect access. And then just with that action. So that is something they did incredibly well, and Kizer consistently does that. I do believe that the PPY and some of these other designs are the owner of Kizer. Blade shape on this, I meant to mention the blade shape. Nice blade shape. Sorry about that. Really good blade shape on this. So, yeah, it's first day in pockets. The first day in pockets videos are a lot of times they're a little bit incongruous and kind of clustered, and it doesn't make sense. But we're looking at it at the same time. I'm basically giving you the impressions I can give you having carried it for like maybe 5 hours, 4.5 to 5 hours. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with the carry on it so far. We'll have to see how it does over the next few days, but that's all I got for you. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts so we can send you out about your day. So there you go, guys. The first day for the Kizer Ppy, also known as the Kizer Ppy. It's been a couple hours since I filmed it, and I can honestly say that there's a jet coming over. Sorry about that. I literally live 3 miles from a naval air station, outlying field. It's still going. There's another one going. I can honestly say I took the pocket clip off of it. This thing is great. I put the pocket clip left-hand carry, and I know I said I wouldn't do that, but that eliminates the entire pocket clip issue. Unfortunately, I don't carry knives left-handed. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. There's only a couple things that I found with it. So we'll see how it plays out in the next few days. Guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, one of the new things that I'm asking you guys to do is reach out to me, see if there's knives that you have that I'd like to put on the channel. There's an email address in the description below, along with some other ways we're going to talk about in a second to support the channel. But the best way is for you guys to like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit that bell icon to get notifications, and make sure you got notifications turned on on your device. I will say sharing the content on multiple platforms absolutely helps. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, share things to other people on YouTube, share things on Twitter, Twitch, Truth Social, however you want to share those things. And it helps us get more views and expands our community. There are some ways you guys can do it financially that don't cost you anything. I have a bunch of affiliate links down below. Anything you purchase does not cost you anything at checkout. As a matter of fact, a couple of ones I'm about to mention actually get you a discount. But any of the things you purchase with the affiliate links directly supports the channel. It costs you nothing at checkout. A couple of my affiliates, the VPN, Atlas VPN, which is the one that I use, and Dollstrong Knives have a 10%, actually I think 10% for Dollstrong, and I think 80% off on Atlas for your first 2-year subscription, which is not much. It winds up being like $45. But there are a ton of affiliate links. The Amazon ones, anything you purchase, it does not matter. It supports the channel. I have got a merchandise store. This shirt's not available yet, but hopefully it's coming. I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co., where you can purchase my merchandise and other creators' merchandise at a 10% discount with my coupon code CrazySharp, capital C, capital S. CrazySharp saves you 10% at checkout. And I have a membership that is tier-based, bunch of different benefits. Not going to get into it. I've said it a million times, but you guys know that we have a lot of fun with the membership stuff. So, guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.